Hi, we're going to spend some time now looking at entering data for the end of the unit progress checks or the end of the unit assessment, which is actually a simpler process than the beginning of the year assessments, entering data for those. In this case, there are also some other tools that are available that are not available on the beginning of the year assessment, so we'll look at those. I have already logged in, and I'm going to go straight to my teacher edition that appears on my screen after I've logged in. And that's going to bring me to the overview for the lesson that it thinks I'm teaching today. However, I'm going to go straight to the end of the unit and find the first day of the unit assessment and click on that. That brings me to the overview for the day that I assign the unit assessment. This is lesson 113 in the 5th grade book. And unlike the beginning of the year assessment, we have this evaluate button right here for us. We don't have to go to the activities button and do a bunch of clicking to get there. The evaluate is right here for us. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on that. And it brings up the Unit 1 assessment, the first day of it. And already on here we have a couple tools we can look at. First of all, this evaluation tab right here allows you, if you wanted to evaluate the assessment one item at a time per student. And that's probably more time consuming than going to quick entry, which we'll go to in a second. But if you had a reason to do that, it allows you to evaluate that way. I'm going to close that and show you over here another tool that is not there on the beginning of the year assessment, but this is here at the end of every unit assessment. This button next to quick entry shows digital activity. Well, the vast majority of the time we are not going to be delivering these assessments digitally. We're going to be delivering them with paper and pencil and having students do their assessments using paper and pencil. So if you click on this digital activity button, it gives you the option to click print activity instead of digital activity. And then it actually gives you the answer guide for the assessment. And over here is that evaluation tool, and you can enter data one student at a time again. So for every item, you can scroll down and enter the data. My data is already entered, so it has things already highlighted on here. I used the quick entry function, but it still fills it in this page to show that that student's data has already been entered. So I'm going to close this tab if I don't want to use it, so I can see that whole answer guide. It gives you all the pages of that first day's assessment. And I'm going to go ahead and click quick entry. And what that does is it opens up another tab. So if I want to, I can actually grade the assessment looking at the answer guide and enter the data at the same time. That may not be your preference. You might want to actually just go through the papers and grade them one after another separately and then enter your data afterwards. But you may prefer to do it all at once, and you can do that with the answer guide here. So I can toggle back and forth between this tab, which is still up, and the new quick entry tab. I have already entered my data here, but if you haven't entered your data, it would be the gray not evaluated button, just like it was on the beginning of the year assessment. So you have the same autofill tab underneath each student's name. You have the same autofill tab for the entire screen's worth of students. And you have the same autofill tab per item for the students that are on the screen. You can do all of those things and toggle back and forth. Again, there are the content buttons here to look at the content standards for each item. And some of the items have practices. In this case, we have problem 5A has content, problem 5B has content, problem 5A has practices, and 5B has practices. So there are multiple ways to assess each item and give you more information on that student's progress. Please let me know if there are other ways I can help with the entering of data. And hopefully this is enough to make you feeling confident, leave you feeling confident that you can score your assessments, your first unit assessment, and enter the data online.